Hi, I'm Mark Pizzacalla and welcome to the next edition of 3 Minutes with Mark. Today what I really want to discuss with you is company tax losses. Now you might think, what's so exciting about company tax losses? Well, there's been some big changes in this area. Now previously you could deduct company tax losses as long as there was not more than a 50% change in the underlying shareholders of the company. If there was more than a 50% change, you could still claim the losses using the same business test. Unfortunately, the same business test requires you to do exactly that, to be conducting the same business when you're recouping your losses in terms of conducting the same business when you originally incurred your losses. So it's quite a stringent test because they wanted you to make sure that you were dealing with the same customers, working out of the same location, dealing with the same suppliers, so it was a bit crazy. So what the government's done, to their credit, is they've introduced a similar business test. And the similar business test is meant to relax somewhat the requirements of the same business test. Not only that, it's retrospective to 1 July 2015. In other words, for the years ended 30 June 16 onwards, you can or you have to look at the similar business test. So if you haven't been able to claim your losses before, you might actually be able to claim them now. Have a look at that. So what are these key factors in terms of the similar business test? Well, you need to look at whether you're using the same assets as you were previously under the former test. You need to look at whether or not you're using commercialisation of your products. If there has been commercialisation of your products and that's caused you to change business type, that's okay, which reflects a relaxation of the new rules, as well as making sure that you haven't changed the identity of your business. If there has been a change in identity, for example, if you're marketing yourself as McDonald's, just to raise a crazy example, and then you're Burger King the next day, clearly there's been a massive change in identity. So look at the assets, look at the operations, look at the commercialisation of products, and so forth. Have a look at all those factors. Unfortunately, the key takeaways here is as follows. You need to weigh up all these factors. So it's still a little bit subjective in terms of whether or not you are conducting the similar business. The weight that you give to each of these factors is going to be very much dependent on the facts and circumstances of your case. And as a result, I think we might be seeing some private tax rulings going to the Commissioner just to make sure taxpayers have got this aspect right until we get a little bit more familiar with the rules. Look, I hope that's been helpful. Please make sure you go back and have a look at your losses. Don't just assume that you can claim them, and make sure you do your homework. Speak to you soon.